Kevin, not exactly, but it was a good try. I think David got it right. SMTP. All right. So SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. What about POP? POP. POP. Akshay, we have moved to the next question. Thanks for your response. POP. If you Google it, you have to Google it as POP3. Yeah, that's right. It's Post Office Protocol. Benson got it right. POP stands for Post Office Protocol. All right. So the very very simple one. Uh, just 1 minute. Okay. Very very simple one. What about HTTP? We'll see who types it first. HTTP. Good. Kevin, you got it right. All right. I could understand your urgency. Some of you type it very fast that you miss the spelling as well. That's fine. That's fine. Great. Great. We'll move ahead with SSH. SSH. Uh, Somebody got it. Jomin, I think you typed it. I missed it. Yeah, it is secure shell. That's right. So SSH stands for secure shell. We'll move ahead. That's good. That's good. We'll move ahead. TCP. Quick. TCP. Yeah. Transfer control protocol or transmission control protocol. Fine. That's okay. If I ask you what is the name of the data in the network layer, what is the name of the data in the network layer packet? That's fine. That's fine. What is the IEEE standard of Ethernet? Thanks everyone for the response. What is the IEEE standard for Ethernet? Prasan, not fully. Chris, no. I think Jomin got it right. All right. So it is 802.3. Perfect. Somebody typed it as 802.11 in colloquial 802.11. What is that standard? Which technology? Yes, it's Wi-Fi. Uh, Specifically, 802.11i is for Wi-Fi. Otherwise, it's for the wireless network. Great, great, great way to go. Can you quickly give the one difference, only one difference between packet switch network and circuit switch network? Only one difference. Let there be spelling mistake, no problem. No grammatical issues. Just type. Praisen, you typed a word called path. That's very telegraphic message. Okay, reservation. Neela Sumant, not exactly. No, 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 no. Okay, no dedicated path in packet switching. Somebody talked about reservation in circuit switching. Good. Yes, wastage of bandwidth is another trouble in circuit switching. Perfect, perfect, good. Anything more? Anything more you can try? Okay, store and forward. Not transform, but anyway, store and forward. Okay, good. Yeah, connectionless, connection oriented can be used to differentiate. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, in one of the methodologies, the packets may take different route to reach the destination. It may take, may not take different route to the destination. Which one? That's perfect. Right. That's our packet switching. All right. So we'll get something from our OSA reference model, which we had spoken yesterday. Right. Thank you, everyone. Some quick questions in that. What are the primary functionalities of network layer? I repeat, what are the primary functionalities of network layer? Routing, perfect. One more, one more. Addressing, that's perfect. So routing and addressing, good. I'm so glad that you are too quick to answer before I complete the question. Thank you. We'll move ahead. We have spoken about one important device in the network layer. What's the name of the device? Any idea? Router. That's perfect. Right. So we also have spoken about there are 7 layers. Can one of you name, or probably any one of you can name, the sixth layer from the bottom? Yes, there is slight confusion between David and Maxine. That's okay. Sixth layer from bottom. Yes. Some of you write data link, some of you write presentation. Okay, I understand the confusion. That's okay. What is the speciality of presentation layer? In other words, what exactly happens in presentation layer? Yes, encryption, compression, perfect. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. Right. And what about the speciality of data link layer? I said yesterday, no, only in data link layer it happens. Patan, thank you. Yeah, only in data link layer it happens. Yes, yes. I think Jayasima Reddy got it right. Only in data link layer we speak about trailer. Okay. We spoke about important protocol in the network layer. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. What's the name of the protocol in the network layer? IP. All right. Good. And can someone expand IP? Yes, Benson. Thank you. Yes, it's the Internet Protocol. Now, IP, you have to answer true or false. Okay. I'll utter a statement. You have to say whether it is true or false. Internet Protocol is a connection-oriented protocol. Uh, I repeat, Internet protocol is a connection oriented protocol. Is it true or false? Is my question. Yes. So Internet protocol is a connection less protocol. Please remember, IP is a connection less protocol. All right. And I spoke about important addressing in every of the layer. If you could recall my session yesterday, I spoke about some addressing schemes in every of the layers. What is the name of the address used in network layer? Yes, Ashlyn, it is IP. All right, IP address. Just added question along with that. What is the name of the address in data link layer? That is layer 2 from bottom. It's going to be, yeah, Maxim and Ashton was waiting for this question and they have answered. All right. And so far we have spoken about almost every layer, but we missed one layer. Out of seven, we have spoken about six layers. Which one did we miss? If you could recall. Yeah,
Transport layer.
yeah, it's a physical as well as session. Right. Thank you. So we haven't spoken about session layer as well. Okay, probably the final question. Let me transport. I think we have spoken, Patan. We have spoken about transport. We have spoken about TCP. Somebody expanded TCP protocol as well. Yes. So probably a simple question. I do not know whether you can answer it. If you have heard it, you can answer it. Can you expand SNMP, which is an application layer protocol? Yes, Nila. True. SNMP, SNMP protocol, which is an application layer. You are free to Google, but let me see who writes it first. That's right. It's simple network management protocol, and we are currently using version 3. All right. Not strategic meeting management. I'm not sure about that, but it is simple network management protocol. Thank you. Right. Thanks for the response. As I promised in the message which I have sent this morning, we'll start with the session of Packet Racer. So I'm going to use the same old um, topology which I have used in the previous class to explain to you about traceroute. Hope none of you would have forgotten as of now about this topology, a simple but interesting topology to learn about a lot. So I'll tend to use the same topology in the future as well to explain to you some more concepts. Right. Today I promised you that I'll be talking about the OSI reference model using this packet tracer. So let me go about. Before that, just a quick summary of what happens in this topology. In this network topology, we have got five routers. Router 0, 1, 2, uh, 3 is missing somewhere. Okay, 4 and 5. So there are five routers used, and you could see a red color link. This signifies or it indicates, sorry, this indicates the WAN link, wide area network link. Wherever you could see a normal black color cable running, that is a copper straight through cable. It is generally a STP cable, shielded twisted pair cable. And wherever you see a cable connecting the switch with the machines or switch with the router, it is the straight through cable. But the router to router are connected using a WAN link. In other words, it is all called as serial cable. Okay, that is about the construction of this topology. And we have got some end systems, PC0, PC1 are the end devices. Then we have got PC2 and server 1 end devices. PC3, PC4 and server 0. These are all the end devices, right? And all other are intermediate devices. And every of these machines are assigned IP address already. You could see 192.168 is the prefix of all these IP address. So I should read this IP as 192.168.4.1. Similarly, I should read this as 192.168.8.1. Okay, so every of these IP has this 192.168 as a prefix. Just additional input. This is a class C private IP, right? So how am I going to demonstrate this OSI reference model with this topology? For that, I have done some more configuration. What have I done? I have made this server as a DNS server. Can someone unmute and respond? What is the expansion of DNS? What is the use of DNS?
Domain name server.
Perfect. Domain name system. What is its functionality anyway?
It changes the URL into IP, like converts.
Right. Right. Thank you. Thanks for the response. A small correction in that answer. It normally does not convert or changes. It maps it. Okay. So you can use the word mapping. So mapping of URL with the IP address is done by DNS. Not only that, DNS has a lot of other responsibilities as well. It also takes care of doing the reverse mapping, that is from IP to URL, and many more, which we'll be learning shortly when we'll talk more about the application layer. All right. For the time being, domain name system, this is a DNS server. This is a name resolution server. In other words, for the name user, let me explain to you what is the use of this. You have got a server here, which is the example.com server. www.example.com is the website address or URL which is residing in this server 0. All right. Now, from PC1 or PC0 or any of these n devices, I wanted to I want to browse through this example.com server, and we are going to see what exactly happens. For that, I just open the simulation window. Yeah, I have already done it. I'm going to use ARP, DNS, HTTP, ICMP, TCP protocols. So let me tell you what are the usage of these protocols. ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. Address Resolution Protocol takes the IP as the input and it responds with the MAC address. I repeat, ARP protocol takes the IP as the input and it responds with the MAC address, right? DNS, something similar to that, but slight change. It takes the URL as the input and gives the IP as the output. That is about domain name system. We know about HTTP used in the web application. ICMP, Internet Control Messaging Protocol, which also we have heard earlier. Then TCP, which is the Transmission Control Protocol. Just a quick question. In which layer do we have DNS and HTTP? They both are in the same layer. Which layer?
Application layer.
Perfect. What about TCP?
Transport layer.
All right. We'll move on. So we are going to see only this many protocols. We are not going to see, there are humpty number of protocols as you see on the screen, but we are not going to see all these in this demonstration. We are going to see very limited. We'll see only these protocols in action. So to see that, what I'm going to do, I go to the PC. This is my personal computer, and I go to the desktop. Desktop contains lot and lot of applications, and one of the applications is my web browser. So I go to this web browser and I type the URL www.example.com. Okay. Hope I have typed it without mistake at example.com. example.com. Yes. And I say go. All right. And I minimize this. Okay. I somewhere put it here. Yes. So what has happened here, as soon as I press the go button after typing example.com, two packets are getting ready. One is DNS, the other one is ARP. We'll just open the DNS packet and see what happens. Okay. How to open? Just click it. It will open the DNS packet. All right. This is in layer. Forget about in layer. This is what the content of these 7 layers of OSI. Okay, we have spoken about 7 layers. What happens in this outer layer? Layer 7 has got your DNS protocol, which is domain name system. We'll see it in this another tab shortly. Layer 6 and 5 are not very important. I'll tell you for your reference. In many of the cases, we will not talk about layer 5 and 6. Layer 5 is session, layer 6 is presentation. The reason is these two protocols are not the core protocols. I'm sorry. These two layers are not forming the core layers of your networking. In other words, even without the functionalities of these two layers, your network will function. However, there may be a performance degradation. For instance, you wanted to secure a data before you send it to the other side, or you want to send a communication securely, you need to encrypt it. All right. Similarly, you want to compress a file, you have to go for the compression algorithm. But even if you don't compress, Even if you don't use any security protocol, your network will function. Packet will go from one end to other end. Hence, layer 5 and 6 are not considered very crucial for your basic network operation. And in many of our demonstration, we will see 5 and 6 will not be showing anything. All right. So layer 7 is our DNS protocol. Then we got our layer 4, that is transport layer. It uses UDP. At this point, I wanted to tell you on additional input. Every of the application layer protocol uses either TCP or UDP at the transport layer. Why is it? Why TCP? Why UDP? Don't worry, we'll learn them in detail short later. On the other hand, you should remember DNS is a protocol which uses UDP at the transport layer. All right, and it also uses the port number. And if you look at the destination port number, it uses 53. So please remember DNS is a protocol which uses transport layer, I'm sorry, which uses UDP in the transport layer, and it uses the port number 53, that is 53. Right. Now let's go to the layer 3, that is network layer. We know network layer is responsible for addressing and routing. Now it has got the source IP is 192.168.1.1, which is 192.168.1.1, this machine. Okay, where does it go? 192.168.4.2, which is 192.168.4.2. It is here. Now you should ask a question. How can this machine send a DNS message to 192.168.4.2? Because this is a DNS server, I told you earlier. But how does this machine know that this is a DNS server? We'll open this server, we'll ask this machine itself. How do you know that? Yes, you can go here. Could you see that? I have configured already that DNS server is 192.168.4.2. Okay, this is the reason this packet, this machine PC1 sends a DNS packet to 192.168.4.2. Right? So source IP is 192.168.1.1, destination IP is 192.168.4.2. What happens in layer 2? It says we go for ARP protocol. I told you that ARP is a protocol, address resolution protocol. It sends the IP address, gets the MAC address. So MAC address is crucial for switching. But anyway, for the time being, only remember that point. To explore more on that, I click this outbound PDU details. Here it talks about every of the protocols which are involved. Look at the application layer protocol. This is the application layer protocol. And it says name is example.com. It says this is my query. Okay, this is a DNS query. And it asks what is the IP of example.com. Okay, so this is the sample DNS packet. Others are not much important. Look at this UDP protocol. Source port is 1025, which is always greater than 1024, and the destination is 53. Okay, and then this is your IP header. Here I'm using IP version 4. So this is the IP version 4 header. It also uses checksum. Okay, that's fine. And our important point is these two. It uses source IPS 11, destination IPS 42. I close it, right? But by the meantime, because it does not have the MAC address, it uses the ARP. So I permit this to go. So somehow this ARP packet goes to the router and comes back. All right. This ARP protocol you can open and see what happens. It always, okay, you can see ARP here. I'm sorry, I do not want to confuse you with ARP protocol operations now. It will take little more time for you to comprehend, but it gets the MAC address. So I do one thing. I remove ARP from our communication, which may confuse us. Okay, we'll go to the DNS. So DNS we have explored already, and I permit this packet to go. Where do you expect this packet to go? It is supposed to take this route to reach this DNS server. Let's see whether that happens. It is dropped. The reason might be because of your ARP. Okay, no worry. You can try once again. You can see this going. This ARP sometimes gives you a lot of headache. But anyway, that's very interesting protocol. Now the packet is received at the DNS. All right. Now let's open this packet. So what do you expect this packet to have now? This is the request packet which has come. Now this server is ready with the response packet, and we can open this packet. This packet should reveal the IP address of example.com. What do we expect? This packet should say the IP address of example.com is 192.168.7.2. That is what we anticipate. I open it. I open the out layer. DNS server finds the domain with its name. It sends back a response. That's okay. I go to the outbound PDU details. And I also look at the DNS answer. All right. See, this is your DNS query, example.com. You see the DNS answer. It has answered that, look, you have requested for the IP address of example.com. This is the IP address of example.com, 192.168.7.2. All right. So that response comes back all the way from the DNS server, and it goes back to the requesting machine called PC1. All right. Now, as soon as the packet is received by the PC1, now what have you got? So far, what have you done, or what has happened in this topology? Very simple thing has happened. It has only found the IP address of example.com. That is what has happened. All right. Now, immediately after it receives, is that our objective? No. Our objective is to connect with example.com server and get the response. That is what your objective. All right. So now that is halfway through. We are not clear in that. Now, immediately after that, you could see a TCP packet is getting ready. What is that? Because we are trying to use HTTP protocol, but a TCP protocol is starting its journey. All right. So this indicates that HTTP is an application layer protocol which uses TCP in the transport layer. Just a quick recall, what is the port, which protocol is used by DNS in the transport layer?
UDP.
UDP. All right. Now we talk about HTTP. HTTP uses a protocol called TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, in the transport layer. That's okay. Then why should the TCP protocol go now? Please remember, TCP is a connection-oriented protocol, right? Which means before the actual transmission of packets commences, the TCP has to establish a communication with the end device. Also recall the statement which I made yesterday in the class, that transport layer is responsible for end-to-end delivery or end-to-end connection, right? Now the TCP protocol takes care of that part. It establishes a end-to-end connection with the server between the PC and the server. Let's see how it goes. We'll allow the TCP packet to go, but anyway, we'll just see what happens. See, now the TCP source port is 1025. Did you see the destination port is 80 here? Can someone comment what is the meaning of destination port 80? Which application layer protocol uses 80 as the port number?
HTTP.
Perfect. So whenever somebody develops an application, you may remember you will always make it to run at the port number 80 or 8080. The reason is HTTP uses the port number 80. Hence, this TCP connection goes and establishes, or it goes and tries to establish a connection at port number 80. With whom? With 7.2. Who is 7.2? That is your server. Okay, this is 7.2. So you are trying to establish a connection with that. You can see this TCP protocol traveling back and forth, very busy. I said it is a three-way handshake protocol. You could see this is a request which goes. Oh, there was a ARP problem. I mentioned it earlier. That's okay. We can solve it. So it goes to this server. All right. Now it comes back. This is the second message of TCP. And now it is not over. But by the meantime, we have got our HTTP packet ready. All right, because after TCP has communication or TCP has established its communication with the server, your HTTP protocol is ready to travel. We'll just open this TCP packet. Everything is done. Yeah, things are perfect. Now we'll open the HTTP packet. What is there in the HTTP packet in the outbound PDU? This is only a HTTP request. Okay, so we have the header format or the data format of HTTP, which we'll be learning shortly, and its variants as well. All right, and HTTP uses the TCP at the transport layer. All right, so but the HTTP packet will not go. You can see that the TCP packet will travel first because this is the third message of your TCP connection establishment. Remember the keyword three-way handshake protocol. TCP is called as the three-way handshake protocol because it uses three messages to establish a connection between the remote server and your local machine. All right. And the third message is going. This is an acknowledgement message of the connection, but you can always see the HTTP packet also follows that. Okay, this we call it as piggyback. Okay, piggybacking is very interesting logic. I can tell an example. Assume that there is a auto, okay, auto rickshaw which comes from Alandrai to Karunya, okay, to drop some passengers, and it goes back empty. Okay, at that time you are going and saying, Anna, can you drop me at Alandrai? And he may not ask all the full amount, 50 rupees or 60 rupees or 100 rupees. Okay, you can say, I'll give you only 10 rupees because the auto goes empty. As you go along with that, he also gets benefit. You are also getting benefit out of it. So this is called piggybacking. It's like taking a lift when a vehicle is going, right? So the third message normally is piggybacked. I'm sorry, the HTTP packet is normally piggybacked to the third message. We'll see what has happened on the browser. Browser is still empty, nothing available is available in the browser. Let's allow this HTTP packet to go. It goes to the example server, okay, example.com server. All right. Now I'll open it. It has got inbound and outbound. Inbound is a request, okay, it's a HTTP request. Outbound should be a response. We'll see. Yeah, outbound is a HTTP response, which means a request has been made. Now the server has created a response for it. And the length of the content is 369 byte or kilobyte. Let's not bother. It's going to be in bits. Okay. So this is the request. This is going to be the response. Now the example.com server has started responding. Let's allow this to go. It goes. It goes. It goes. All right. We'll see whether anything has happened on the screen. No, nothing has happened so far. Now the HTTP packet is received. Can we see something happening? Yes, you could see the response has been received from the example.com server and you got the response out of it. All right. Now this is how your web service is running. But we also have looked at what was happening in every of the layers, right? So just to recall, what are all the things which are happening in every of the layers? In layer 7, we have spoken about DNS protocol and HTTP protocol today. Now I think you can unmute and you can speak if you know the answer. Which protocol does it use in transport layer? One of you have answered already for DNS. Are you there or I'm talking alone? Okay, I repeat my question. What is the transport layer protocol used by HTTP?
TCP.
Perfect. What is the port number of DNS?
53.
What's the port number of HTTP?
80.
All right. Have you got little logic about what has happened in every of the layers? Now, even in Packet Tracer, you can go to any of the packet in the right side pane. You can click that packet and you can open what has happened in that inbound PDU and outbound PDU. All right, what is the source? Look at this in layer and out layer. You can see the source and destination IP address won't be changed. From end to end communication, the IP addresses will not be changed, but interestingly, the MAC addresses would change. I can show you with an example. Let me open this packet. No, it is not visible. I'll go to this packet. Is it visible? Yes. Here you can see it is from PC1. It is from PC1 to router. You could see source port is something 602, destination C7 ID. I'll close it. I'll take this. It is a HTLC because it's router to router. Somewhere to the server. Okay, I'll open this. You can see the source and destination would be different. Okay, source MAC and destination MAC would be different. The reason is your IP will be always remaining same, but the MAC addresses will be always different between every of the link. The reason is MAC addresses have the scope only within the link or within the LAN. That also we'll explore in detail later. All right, so that's all I have got for today's session, and I stop my sharing. Though I can talk a lot about this, I do not want to put a lot of load on your head, and I stop here for today's session. Now I can take up any of the questions if you have, you can raise it. And every day I leave you only after the class time is done. Today I thought I'll leave you at least for 4 or 5 minutes earlier. All right, so if at all you have got any question, you can stay back and you can ask your questions. Otherwise, you can just type your register number and you can take a leave. Thank you and have a great day.